All right, let's get right into it. A brand new, super powerful AI tool has just landed in, well, one of the most common programs on the entire planet, Microsoft Excel. And it promises to completely change how we work with data. But, and this is a big but, there's a pretty major catch.
You know that feeling, right? You're staring at a spreadsheet, you know exactly what you want it to do, but you have absolutely no idea how to write that one perfect, complex formula. With all the nested parentheses and the dollar signs, it can be so frustrating.
Well, Microsoft is rolling out a feature that they say is going to make all that frustration a thing of the past. The whole idea is to bring the power of AI right into the cells of your spreadsheet.
It's a new function, and it's literally called Copilot. The concept is actually really simple. Instead of you trying to remember all the code and syntax, you just describe what you want in plain English, and the AI is supposed to do all the heavy lifting for you. And here's where the magic is supposed to happen. The process is meant to be completely seamless. So imagine you have a giant column of customer feedback, right? You could just type something like equals Copilot, summarize the sentiment of this feedback, A2 to A20. And boom, the AI generates the formula and analyzes all that text for you instantly. It's meant to feel that easy.
Okay, so that's the dream. But this is where the story takes a really, really sharp turn. Because alongside this amazing new tool, Microsoft included some advice that is, well, it's unusual and frankly, a little startling.
Just let that sink in for a second. An AI tool built into Excel, a program famous for precision, for getting the numbers right, comes with a warning from Microsoft themselves not to use it for tasks that require accuracy. I mean, what? That's a massive contradiction.
And they're not being vague about it either. They specifically call out things like financial reporting, legal documents, and, numerical calculations. In other words, a lot of the core, high-stakes jobs that we've all been relying on Excel for decades.
So what on earth is going on here? Why would you release a tool for a data program and then immediately tell people not to trust the data it gives them? Well, the answer really lies in how these big AI models actually work.
The core problem is this phenomenon called AI hallucination. And yeah, it's as weird as it sounds. It basically means the AI just makes things up sometimes. It can spit out results that are strange, totally inaccurate, or just nonsensical, even when you give it a perfect prompt. And for data analysis, that is a total deal breaker.
So you end up with this tool that has a complete split personality. On one hand, Microsoft's examples show it's great for the fuzzy creative stuff, like summarizing text or classifying content. But on the other hand, they're basically shouting, do not use this for the hard and fast numbers game. Not for financial analysis, not for any calculation that absolutely needs to be right every single time.
We also have to remember, this thing is very much a work in progress. For now, you can only get it if you're in the beta channel. And it has other limits too. It can't pull data from the live web, it can't access your company's internal documents, and you're actually capped at about 300 requests per hour.
Now, with all these worries about accuracy, you might be asking a huge question. What about privacy? And on this point, Microsoft has been very, very clear. They state that any data you feed into the Copilot function is never, ever used to train their AI models. It stays confidential, it's only used to generate that one answer for you, and that's it.
So when you zoom out, what does all of this really mean? Because this isn't just a story about a single feature in Excel. It's really a snapshot of exactly where we are right now in the evolution of AI.
What we're seeing here is a perfect example of this new industry trend, beta testing in public. Companies are releasing these incredibly powerful but still pretty imperfect AI tools out into the wild. They're useful enough to be exciting, but they're not nearly reliable enough to be trusted for critical tasks. And guess what? We, the users, are all part of the experiment.
And that leaves us with a really fascinating and kind of scary question for the future. As AI gets baked into all the software we rely on every single day, are we just entering an era where our tools are incredibly helpful, but also potentially fundamentally inaccurate? Is helpful but inaccurate just the new normal? Is that the trade-off we're all going to have to get used to?